Hello friends. Now quantifiers. Quantifiers in first order logic. There are two types of quantifiers. First is universal quantifier and second is existential quantifier. What is quantifier? A quantifier is a language element which generates quantification, and quantification specifies the quantity of a specimen in the universe of discourse. These are the symbols that permit to determine or identify the range and scope of variables in the logic expression. First is universal quantifier. First, universal quantifier means for all, everyone, everything. Existential quantifier for some or at least one. First is universal quantifier. It is represented as a symbol. This symbol, universal quantifier. The universal quantifier is a symbol of logical representation which specifies that the statement within its range is true for everything or every instance of a particular thing. The universal quantifier is represented by a symbol like this, which resembles as inverted A. Okay. Now, this is if x is a variable, then for all x, read as for all x, for each x, for every x. इसका मीनिंग ये होता है कि for all x, for each x, and for every x. Or when drink coffee, तो इसको हम कैसे रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे in the form of logical. For all x, man, x, implication, drink, x, coffee. तो इसको हम रीड कैसे करेंगे? There are all x where x is a man who drinks coffee. There are all x where x is a man who drinks coffee. Now, existential quantifier. Existential quantifier are the type of quantifier which express the statement within its scope is true for at least one instance of the something. Okay, and it is a logical operator which resembles an inverted E. When it is used with a predicate variable, then it is called as an existential quantifier. Now, if x is a variable, then existential quantifier will be for existential quantifier x, और हम इस फॉर्मेट में इसको रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे. existential x, existential ब्रैकेट में x को मेंशन करके हम इस तरह से रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. नाउ इसका मीनिंग क्या होता है? There exists a x for some x for at least one x. Some y's are intelligent. For example, some y's are intelligent. It means existential x, boys x, and intelligent x. It will be read as there are some x where x is a boy who is intelligent. So there are some points which you have to remember. First point is the main connectives for universal quantifier is implication. The main connective for existential quantifier is and. Okay. Properties of quantifier. In universal quantifier, universal x, universal y is similar to universal y, universal x. In existential quantifier, existential x, existential y is similar to existential y and existential x. But existential x, universal y is not similar to universal y and existential x. This is not similar. These are not similar. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ऑल वर्ड्स फ्लाई, तो इसको हम लॉजिक फॉर्म में कैसे रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं? फ्लाई ब्रैकेट वर्ड ब्रैकेट क्लोज, and since there are all words who fly, so it will be represented as follows: for all x word x implication fly x. Next example, every man respects his parent. In this question, the predicate is respect xy, where x is man and y is parent. Since there is every man, so we'll use universal, क्योंकि every man यूज किया तो we will use universal quantifier. और इसको हम कैसे करेंगे कि for all x man x implication respect bracket x comma parents, x comma parent. Other example, some boys play cricket. So इसमें प्रेडिकेट क्या होगा? प्ले एक्स कोमा वाई, वेयर एक्स इज बॉयज एंड वाई इज गेम. अब इसमें क्या है कि सम बॉयज, तो सम बॉय का मीनिंग होता है कि हम इसमें एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्वांटिफायर, वी विल यूज एग्जिस्टेंशियल क्वांटिफायर. नाउ सो एग्जिस्टेंशियल एक्स बॉयज एक्स, एग्जिस्टेंशियल एक्स बॉयज एक्स implication play bracket x comma cricket. This is the representation in logical form. Not all students like both mathematics and science. This is the representation of first order logic. So इसमें predicate क्या? In this question the predicate is like xy, where x is student and y is subject. तो इसमें क्या? Not all students. So there are not all students, so we will use for all इनके universal quantifier with negation. So following representation for this: negation universal x bracket student x implication like x comma mathematics and like x comma science, because we have two subjects, mathematics and science, therefore we use and connectives. Okay. Another example, only one student failed in mathematics. Now predicate is failed x comma y, where x is student and y is subject. Since only one student who failed in mathematics, so we will use existential and universal both. So existential x, student x implication failed x comma mathematics, and universal y negation x is equal equality y, and student y implication negation failed x comma mathematics. So this is the representation in first order logic. Now what is free and bound variables? Free variables क्या होते हैं? A variable is said to be free variable in a formula if it is occurs outside the scope of quantifiers. अगर वो variables quantifier से attach नहीं है तो वे सब क्या कहलाते हैं? free variables. जैसे for all x, universal x, existential y, p x y z. So here z is a free variable. Bound variable क्या होता है? A variable is said to be bound variable in a formula if it occurs within the scope of the quantifier. For all x, universal x, a x y, here x is a bound variable because x is a bound with universal quantifier. Thank you.